Today's video is sponsored by Black Gold Compost Company. I want to thank the good people over at Black Gold for the generous donation of all this beautiful black cow manure that we use in our video today, and it's made a tremendous success in our garden. I've been using black cow for many years, ever since 1980, and it's always made a tremendous difference in my garden, and I've been very pleased with their product. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Black Gold, for sponsoring our channel. I just love springtime, planting seeds in the spring, don't you? I'm having fun today. But today I'm growing some Joi Choi. It's a small hybrid Bok Choy. It only gets about that big, so it's just right, you know, for me and Nancy. And it's supposed to be a pretty good little Bok Choy. So we're gonna grow these, get them started. I got the seeds, you know, ready to go. We'll get them germinating, and we'll grow these in 3-gallon containers. We'll grow them together. And as soon as these things get up big enough, you know, ready to transplant, we'll put them over into 3-gallon containers on the grow table in the container garden. I got these seeds at johnnyseed.com, so if you want to get some of these seeds for yourself, go check them out. They got a wide selection of all kinds of goodies that just goes great in your spring garden. So we'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll travel along on this little journey with this beautiful little Bok Choy together. See you soon. Well, our Bok Choy's been growing for 10 days now. It's germinated, it's up, it's showing some signs of true leaves. So this stuff is doing really good. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks, and we'll look at the progress of it and get it ready to harden off. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Well, good morning. Check out the Joi Choi. They've been doing great in the seed starting trays. Come on up and take a little close look at these beauties. You can see that they have really matured. They've got some good true leaves on them. I've had them out here on the hardening table for the last 3 days, so they're ready to get out of these little seed starting trays and get into some 3-gallon containers. So today I'm going to plant 36. I want to put 36 out on the grow tables out there in 3-gallon containers so we can get these started. So let's get started. I've got my 36 3-gallon containers out. I'm going to use my own container mix that I mix myself. So if any of y'all want to check out our container mix and do this for yourself, we have a video you can go check out. Nancy will put a link on it for you on this video, so you can go check out this how to make this at home. It's not anything to it. But anyway, here's how I get my containers started. Is I'll get my containers, and I like to fill them up until they're about 3 inches from the top. Okay, I got all the containers filled up about 3 inches from the top, and the next thing I want to do is I want to add a handful of this blood meal. That'll give me a nice boost of organic nitrogen, which is going to push the foliage growth on this Bok Choy. So what I do is I usually just take just a handful, and for me, I know that's about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons, and all I do is I drop that right in the bucket, right on the top. Next thing I want to do is flood the container so that it'll soak all the way down through the pot and pre-moisten all that dry soil I put in, and it kind of helps to dissolve in some of that blood meal in with the soil. I like to let it stand in there right at about 1 inch so it has time to soak down. So this will take about 15 minutes for these pots to soak, and as soon as they get through soaking, we'll be right back. Okay, our pots are all soaked, and as you can see, about 2/3 of the pot has been soaked all the way down. So the next thing I do is I add some more of my container mix, the dry container mix, on top of here. I fill that right on back up to the rim to where I got about 1 inch. I want about 1 inch below the top of the container. At this point, we're ready to plant. What I like to do is I take my hand and I push in, and I like to put it in about from the middle of my palm to the end of my finger. That way I got a nice deep hole. And these are leafy plants that I'm going to be eating the leaves, right? So we add in another hand full of blood meal, because blood meal promotes foliage growth. And anytime you're planting something like lettuce or collard greens or Bok Choy, anything like that, where you're going to be eating the tops, you want to make sure that that you add some blood meal to promote that growth. Next thing I do is I take one of the plants. You can see I've got good root development all the way through. Nice healthy plant. I set it right in and I collapse the sides around it. See? And I push it down, pack it down around it. And if it needs a little extra soil, then I'll add a little bit more in. Until I've got it filled. Now, I wanted to show you something on these plants. Do you see this little leaf node right here? See how it's got a long stem? I want to fill when I plant this Bok Choy, I want to fill the soil all the way up to that point right there, so it's completely in. See how it's in right there? So I don't want it to fall over. So I bury it kind of deep all the way up. So remember how they'll take off, these Bok Choy will take off from right here and they grow and make a nice big bunch of stalks. So that's where you want to fill it up to, is to that point right there. Let me show you another one. I fill it back up. I'm about an inch from the rim, right? Take my hand, nice deep hole, one handful of blood meal. And there's the point I'm talking about right there. See, I push it all the way down in, and it's covers up that stem, see? Now that little seedling will grow well. It'll be supported correctly, and it'll grow like you want it to grow. Okay, let me get the rest of these put in the pots and we'll get them over to the grow table. Okay, we got all of our plants on the table, and if you'll remember, we already pre-soaked the bottom 2/3 of these pots, so when I put them over on the table, all I have to do is water in the tops of them just a little bit, because remember the bottom 2/3 of the pot is already saturated, so this is just enough to help it with the root shock. You want to keep the roots nice and wet there, first day especially. And that's about all it needs. Well, we got all 36 of our Joi Choi planted. They're off and running, so we'll be back in the days ahead to watch the development of these beautiful Bok Choys. We'll see you soon. Well, good morning. We started these little Joi Choi on March the 10th from seed, and today is April the 10th. So they're about a month old, and as you can see, they've made a huge progress in a short amount of time. So these are very productive plants, very easy to grow, And if you've never grown any bok choy before, and this is your first time gardening, give this plant a try in your garden. It's a good way to get started because you'll be successful with it, and it'll encourage you. These plants taste similar to spinach, so if you like spinach, you're gonna love bok choy. We love it too. Nancy makes it in a really good kimchi and makes soups out of it. It's pretty good eating. But anyway, the plants are looking wonderful. We'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll watch the development of these beautiful Joi Choi all the way up to harvest. So we'll be back in probably about 3 weeks. See you then. Well, good morning, friends. Well, today is April the 21st, and we planted this Joi Choi together on March the 10th, if you remember. Planted it from seed. So it's been from seed till today, and it's actually ready to harvest, and they've become some really beautiful plants. So today we're going to grab up about 3 or 4 of these things and take them over to the harvester and clean them up for Miss Nancy, and she's going to cook us something nice for supper with these things. So thought you might want to tag along on this little journey while we wrap up with a little harvest. Let's get started.
I would like these 3 over here.
Which ones you want?
This one, and this one,
All right,
sweetheart.
then.
Thank you. Ooh, that's beautiful.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Like a bouquet of roses, but better. I can eat them.
Yeah, you can actually eat roses too.
Uh-huh, yep, you can.
Sure you don't want one more?
No, that's all I could handle right now, hon.
All right, let's go wash them up a little bit.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, there we go. A little bit for the chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Here's you some nice little Joi Choi.
All right. And I bet it's better than bok choy.
It's the same thing, only it's smaller. It's just a little baby size bok choy. I love the white stems on it. It's really crunchy. The stuff sort of tastes a little bit similar to spinach, but Nancy makes it in soups and kimchis and salads, and you can boil it. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with bok choy, and it's a wonderful little plant that you may want to consider for your spring or fall vegetable garden. So we thank the Lord for this beautiful bok choy. Mm-hmm. And so until me and Nancy see you next time, we want to say thank you for tagging along with us on this little video on this Joi Choi. And I hope our video brought a smile to your face and a little joy to your heart. So until we see you next time, always remember, by His hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen.
Have a blessed day.